Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy Halloween. For today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Maschinenkrieger Maskenball here. And when I originally recorded the unboxing portion of this video, I had different plans for the kit, but I thought this would actually make a really good kit for a special Halloween project to share with you guys. So that's what we're going to do in today's video, but I'm going to go through the unboxing of this kit. I'll show you guys the box, the contents, and then we'll take a look at the kit just assembled out of the box without any kind of customization or anything. And then I'll show you guys my custom build of this that I made for Halloween for this year. But let's go ahead and get into it here, starting off taking a look at the box. And so as per usual, we got some beautiful box art here on the front there by Koyoka-san of the Maskenball. You can see this is a ground type version of the Grosser Hund, and then you can see the Nutcracker tank there in the back, which I actually have right over there. I need to build that kit at some point as well too. I've never actually built that one, but I've built a couple versions of this. Not actually finished a version of the Grosser Hund yet. I have a couple that are like built and ready for paint and just need to actually paint them. So anyway, this is of course a 1/20 scale model, as you can see here on the bottom, an example of one of the markings that we have for this on the opposite end of the box. It's kind of opposite color scheme with different marking there. Like that blue on that looks really nice. On this side of the box, we've got some text here about this particular design that's going to be all there in Japanese. Sometimes we have it in Japanese and in English. Not the case for this one, unfortunately. We've got some more credits over here, also including like the model length, model width, and the part count coming in at 221 pieces. I'm assuming that's kind of like around 221 pieces because there's probably some option parts we have included in here. Some more stats over here on this side about the machine, which is kind of cool to see, kind of some sort of lore background information about the actual unit there. It's pretty nice. But let's go ahead and pop the top, see what we got inside here. So nothing like anything further on the inside of the box or on the back side of the box for that matter. Sometimes we do have some more on there, but not in this case. The model is going to be molded in a dark green color for this one. It's pretty cool. For the base color, you can see we did have a couple of parts like the hose bits and things in black. We'll take a look through the runners in just a moment. For these goodies here, we've got our waterslide decal sheet, a nice big sheet of decals with a number of different logos and text designs on here, numbers and lettering. You've got the standard like caution markings up there in white, black, and red, and a lot of really cool markings here for this one. So really nice. Also then, of course, got the paint card, which is going to feature a couple of different paint scheme variations that you can, opt to use or go for something completely custom, but there's a few of those different options on there. In here, we've also got a paper just talking about how to apply waterslide decals. Interesting. And then the instruction manual, which has some line art there of the Maskenball on the front. And basically, after our parts list here on the inside page, it's just right on into the construction. And it looks like for this one, we do have all of the construction in Japanese and in English, which just means that there's like some notes throughout the construction here and there saying like do not cement, be careful of some of these parts, stuff like that. Areas where, for example, there's some more just kind of useful information that you need to know about drilling a hole or something for this. For example, using a metal rod rather than the plastic part, like to cut that off and then drill a hole and add that antenna bit, the metal piece in there. So everything's in Japanese and in English, making it very easy. Well, I guess easier than if you had to rely on reading the Japanese or interpreting the instructions without the English in there, but we've got English for everything, which just makes it that much easier. For some other bits in here that we have included is that small metal rod for the antenna that you can use for that, so really cool. And then some wiring. So this is just some soft rubber, kind of like hose parts that you can use for that as well. Getting into the runners, then we've got some polycaps here, runner PC3 in a medium gray color. We've got runner X. This is going to be from the Grosser Hund kit in plain clear, as you can see, with just some clear lens parts there. And runner W here, also in black, is going to be a soft rubber runner here of the hose parts, also from the Grosser Hund. So there's those. Everything else is here in green. So just to go through these runners here, we've got runner K for a few little detail parts there. Then we've got 2 of runner T and 2 of runner U here for the new Panzerschreck, which are the weaponry that are kind of mounted or connected onto the back side of the unit. Also got 2 of runner V here, which has some small little detail bits, including these kind of like bolt detail parts here that you can cut off and glue on, or you can opt to use these ones that are molded on the runner. Kind of just different ways to have those molded onto there, but these are pretty nice to use, and you'll usually have some extras of these too that you can use on this, just adding some more if you want to, or you can use them on a different custom build or something, so nice to have plenty of those. The last of our smaller runners here, runner Y, is actually from the Dachshund variation, and this is going to be, I think, a part of that like mask part kind of on the head. Then we've got two of runner F. This is actually parts from the Altair variation, which is kind of like one of the space versions. We got runners A1 and A2 here from the original Grosser Hund kit with some of the larger parts and parts for the body on there. And there is one more smaller runner here, the parts for the laser cannon arm here from the Grosser Hund. This is runner G. Runners B and D are connected here. Runner B from the Grosser Hund, runner D from the Altair. So this is going to have the Altair style feet, I'm guessing, on this one. Last couple runners, then runner N we have two of. These are more parts from the original Grosser Hund kit. Looks like mostly parts for the legs on there. And then finally, runners S and Q are connected here together as well for some more bits from the Grosser Hund. So that's it for all the runners. Let me go ahead and work on just getting the kit put together, and then we'll see how it looks. Alright guys, anyway, here is the kit all built up, how that's going to look just straight out of the box. Now, not exactly straight out of the box, as there's a couple of small modifications that I did make. You'll notice this part up here, I actually lost that. Somehow I lost one of these parts here that goes at the end of the like missile tubes there. So I had to just scratch build a new one. Fortunately, a very easy part to have to rebuild if that was missing. I was also opting to maybe just have just one on this side instead of having both as an option. Another thing is that I added a third set of smoke launchers there in the center, so it's supposed to be just like two on each side, and I added another two there just to kind of add something more to it. For the antenna here, I did opt to use the steel piece. It's like a stainless steel rod there for the antenna, and that should be nice and solid. Don't need to worry about that breaking off. Added this little piece here at the back right there. That was just like a leftover piece. Go ahead and just threw that on there for some additional detail. On that note, also added a wire. Now none of these wires are connected, so you have all these wires that go from like the arms and they connect into like the inside of the body there. I'll go ahead and put those on once I'm into the painting process. There's another additional hose part here that I have just kind of glued up into there and just kind of tucked into the laser cannon arm here, laser gun arm, and so that's just adding another wire onto that as well. Pretty simple. Otherwise, not really too much in the way of modification. I did add a couple more of these small screw bolt details in a couple of spots here and there that weren't like in the instruction manual. This one here on the side, these four there on the front, for example. There's a couple also added here on the back. So, another real quick thing too that I did was also sharpen the claws just to make those a bit kind of scarier looking, having those claws slightly sharper there. All the seam lines are removed and we're ready for painting. So I just wanted to show this to you guys first, just kind of how this is going to look straight out of the box. Also, I haven't put in the clear parts. There's clear parts here, here, and up here on the head. I've just left those off for the time being until the kit's all painted. Straight out of the box in this cool green color, but we're gonna paint this guy. So let's go ahead and get some primer on it. And here is the finished result on the Maskenball. And let me just talk a little bit about kind of what was the idea process here a little bit for this, as I just kind of show you guys around the kit a little bit. So I don't know exactly how the idea popped into my head, but I just had a couple of kits that I was planning on working on, and I realized Halloween was coming up, and I thought, oh, which kit could I use for a Halloween project? And I thought, well, this one's kind of cool. It already has a kind of spooky look to it, sort of, just the overall design. And then just thinking about some ideas for it, the idea of the Dokuro Zaku popped into my head, which some of you guys might be familiar with. I'm sure you've seen the design around. And then I remember there was also this really cool custom painted crossbone Gundam, which I had come across on Twitter. And thanks to you guys who helped me find this, because I remembered I'd seen it, but I couldn't remember who made it. But shout outs to, it's at WheelGmbH, otherwise known as Painto, there on Twitter. Definitely give him a follow. Some really cool custom builds on there. But yeah, this custom build was really, really awesome. So I thought, what if I could do something like that with the red, with a skeleton painted on it here on the Maskenball, and so this was the result. And obviously I went with a darker red than that very bright red. I was originally thinking to do a brighter red, but I think this darker tone just kind of fits with the Maschinen Krieger aesthetic a little bit better. Although I still would like to do like a really bright colored Maschinen Krieger build at some point. I know I've like done one sort of like in the past, but that's a goal for a later day. Anyway, in this one here, yeah, the main thing is the custom paint job on this. And basically how I went about doing that was just priming the kit in black, painting or kind of like sketching on the first coat of the skeleton first, and then going on there with a deep red, I think it was like whole red, and painting in all the red sections, using some dark gray to paint in some of those mechanical sections in there as well. And then I went back over the red again with the brighter red, signal red I think that was. These are all SMS paints that I was using for this one, by the way, all hand painted of course. And that signal red brightened up the red some, but it still has that kind of darker tone to it, which I like. And then went over the white bits of the skeleton again, and that was pretty much it for the painting. And then when it came to just kind of the customization for this, I mentioned this a little bit before, that there was a little bit of customization in just I added a couple extra smoke launchers on the top. And then for the end of that rocket launcher that I had to scratch build that new part for it, I actually turned that into, it's going to be kind of subtle on there, but you can actually see that it looks like, I made it look like that rocket has been launched, it has been used anyway, so that one tube has a little bit more kind of charred weathered look there at the end of that to make it look like that rocket has been fired. And so that's the one thing that you'll notice here, as just in terms of the finish on this. I did put a handful of decals on there, and then some nice just kind of subtle weathering. I gave this kind of an overall gunk wash of just some dark brown, and then did a little bit of weathering, just throwing a little bit of chipping here and there, and then some mud and kind of dirt splashing kind of around there on the feet. And that's kind of about it. Yeah, I added that little bit of like charred look there around the one in the rocket tube there on the back. And then also slight customization to the laser gun, added that little bit on there, and just kind of making it look a bit more like a kind of like a flamethrower sort of is kind of what I was going for. I'm not really sure if it really comes across, but it doesn't really particularly matter too much. But added a little bit of charring like around the kind of barrel hole there for that guy as well. And yeah, that's kind of about it. So really fun project, really quick project. I threw this project together really in basically over the course of about 3.5 days. I mean, typically when you do that, it tends to show in the final work, and maybe that's the case with this one, but I think it came out pretty good, all things considered. I'm pretty happy with this. It was a fun project, and it's actually the first Hund kit that I've painted. So I think you guys may have heard me mention this before, but I think I have 2 or 3 of these kits in some stage of work in progress as well. I think it's just 2. But anyway, those other couple ones are also just works in progress that I got to come back to at some point. But that means that this one was my first time fully finishing painting a Hund kit. And it's also really great timing too, in case you guys weren't aware. Friend of the channel, Lincoln right there, and definitely my sort of mentor, as it were, when it comes to a Maschinen Krieger. I've learned a lot from Lincoln, and I definitely recommend you guys to check out his channel if you guys are fans of Maschinen Krieger and just kind of this whole aesthetic. But he's got a new book coming out on the way, which is all about this particular model kit and different variations of the Grosser Hund, basically. So if you guys have been following him on social media, you've definitely been seeing him posting lots of content related to this kit and its many different variations. So definitely looking forward to that book from Lincoln, and so it's cool to have the opportunity to paint up one of these kits for myself and kind of get more excited about that book coming out. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to finishing my other couple of works in progress of other different variations of this kit at some point in the near future. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this build in the comment section down below. How do you think it turned out? Like I said, I'm pretty happy with it. It's kind of interesting, kind of unique, kind of different. So I like that. But as always, guys, looking forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section. And if you guys want to check out some more Maschinen Krieger kits or SMS paints, tools, supplies, you can check out the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. And again, guys, yeah, happy Halloween. If you guys are going out for Halloween, be safe, have fun. I'll be going out with my kids trick-or-treating, and should be a good time. Always looking forward to it. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning into the video here today. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Make sure that you're subscribed to stay tuned for more in the near future. But for now, that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks so much for all your support. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.